Hey, welcome to Kids Church. We are so excited that you have joined us for another awesome weekend together. Today, we are going to have a great time together. And before we get started, we're going to play a game together. Who's excited for a game? More importantly, who's still in their pajamas?
Hey guys, so we have another fun game for you, and I am so excited because A, I love puppies, and B, I love seeing puppies choose things. So today we're gonna see what Mike chooses. Mike is a big puppy, because all dogs are puppies. Woof! All right, can you guess what Mike is thinking? I hope I can. I like to think of myself as a dog communicator. Oh, the inner workings of Mike's brain. What will he choose? Okay. Carrots? No. Sweet potatoes. Definitely sweet potatoes. I don't know if you guys have ever had sweet potatoes, but they are absolutely delicious. So stand if you think sweet potatoes, sit if you think he'll choose carrots. I'm definitely thinking sweet potatoes. You guys can copy me. You can also not copy me. It's up to you. Mike! I'm disappointed. He didn't choose the one that I thought. Okay. Well, look how happy he is, though. He was so happy he's wagging his little tail. Okay. Bird toy or the pig toy? Okay, so stand for pig, sit for bird. I'm gonna go with bird because I like the look on his eyes. It's a little crazy, and that's what I like, is a little crazy. Oh, he's smelling it? He chooses the bird. He has the eye for the crazy eyes. Dog food or cat food? He probably eats dog food all the time. So I'm gonna guess cat food because he wants to switch things up a little bit. That's how I think, and so I think Mike thinks the same thing. I'm communicating with him. Mike, choose the right one. Choose the right one. See? I did it. I willed it into existence. Look at me go. Wet cat food, or I think it's wet dog food. Okay. Wet dog food or wet cat food? I'm gonna go again, wet cat food, because it's something he probably doesn't eat a lot. Look at how happy he is. He's such a good boy. Oh, Mike, you chose wrong. It's okay. We'll get it right the next time. Marshmallows or muffin? Ooh. Look at his cute little face. I get so excited when he's smiling. He's sitting like such a good boy. Okay, so stand for marshmallows, sit for muffins. I'm gonna go marshmallows because I think I prefer eating marshmallows over muffins, and I think Mike will too. No? Mike, come on. You are such a good boy. Look how happy he is eating the muffin. I just love it. All right, that was it. Thank you so much for playing with me, and let's continue on with the rest of our show.
Hi guys, I am so glad you joined us for Kids Church. Today you're gonna need to find a Bible and something you love. Now I've already found my something I love. I'm not gonna show you till later, okay? So go find a Bible and something you love. I'll see you guys in a few minutes.
All right, I think it's time for a little humor. And who doesn't love a good joke? I love a good joke. But you know what's better than a good joke? A bad joke. And you know what's better than a bad joke? A dad joke. So let's take it away to John for some bad dad jokes.
Hi friends, are you ready for a couple of new jokes? I hope so. So, did you hear about the restaurant on the moon? It had great food, but no atmosphere. How many apples grow on a tree? Have you ever tried counting them? But how many do you think are on a tree? All of them. So, speaking of trees, do you know why you never see elephants hiding in trees? That's because they're so good at it. Okay, that's all, folks.
Hey everyone, it's time for Kids Creations. This is the part of our show where we share some of the fun things that you guys have been doing at home. We love seeing the things that you guys are making, but we want to see more. So if you have something fun you want to share with us, email it to kids@fccHB.com. Okay, first we have my friend Grace, and Grace loves to bake cakes. I wonder what flavor these cakes are. I like vanilla cake. I also love all the sprinkles. Sprinkles are my favorite. Next, our friend Henry planted strawberries in his yard. He even picked a little baby strawberry. I'm sure those strawberries tasted really good, Henry. Last, we have Bo. Bo colored a train and it has a little engineer in it. The engineer is even waving to everybody as the train goes by. If you want to share your creations with us, send them to kids@fccHB.com.
I am so excited. This month our theme is I Spy. Our song this month is called I Spy. Sometimes it's difficult when you have a bad day to see where Jesus is. This song reminds us that He is all around us. Are you ready to celebrate? I know I am. Here we go.
He's the best
I love celebrating Jesus, and one of the ways I like doing that is by singing and dancing. This next song is called Trusting in You. God is always with us. He never leaves us. Sometimes we have great days, sometimes we have bad days, but we can trust that He is always there. Are you ready to celebrate? Get up on your feet. Here we go.
When I need help, God, you are my helper. And when I am scared, God, you make me braver. So I know just what to do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Oh, I know just what to do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I keep on trusting, trusting in you. I keep on trusting, trusting in you. You're the one I'm running to. There's no one else like you. I keep on trusting, trusting in you. And I sing. When I need help, God, you are my helper. And when I am scared, God, you make me braver. So I know just what to do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Oh, I know just what to do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I keep on trusting, trusting in you. I keep on trusting, trusting in you. You're the one I'm running to. There's no one else like you. I keep on trusting, trusting in you. Come on now. I know I can trust in Y-O-U. I know I can trust in Y-O-U. I know I can trust in Y-O-U. Keep on trusting. I know I can trust in Y-O-U. Trusting, trusting in you. I keep on trusting, trusting in you. You're the one I'm running to. There's no one else like you. I keep on trusting, trusting in you. And I sing. I just gotta sing. And I sing.
Hey friends, check this out. So we're going to tell another story about my favorite subject, me, and the cool thing that I did. So there's this thing that we can do called mission trips. That's just a fancy word for saying we go to another place and we tell people about Jesus. I've had the privilege of going on 4 different trips. I've been on 2 with students and I've been on 2 with adults. And it's so much fun and so amazing. And you get to go and you get to share the love of Jesus with people who may not get to hear it. There's so many wonderful things about it, and you don't always speak the same language as people. I'm going to tell you, one time I got to go to Southeast Asia, and I only know 2 words in their language from the trip. So I learned, hey, what's up, which is apa kabar, and then I learned the word also for diarrhea, which is menseret. So if you ever want to use a fancy word, there you go. So those are the only 2 words I got to learn, but I still got to share the love of Jesus with other people. See, sometimes we think that we have to only share the love of Jesus with people that would understand us. But sometimes love can be transformed outside of language. I got to go to Chile once, and we had the most amazing time playing soccer and hanging out with people. I had a really hard time because I don't speak Spanish very well. But we were able to play games and we were able to share this commonality. And that's what's really amazing. Today we're going to be telling a story about how Jesus is for everyone, not just people you think are worthy of it, not just people who speak the same language as you or people who have the same background or information. Everyone gets to learn about Jesus. Just like from my trips, everyone gets to learn about Jesus. Thank you guys so much for checking this out, and I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Hey everyone, it's me, Miss Kelly. And if you know me, you know I love hiking. And you also know I like to keep things simple. So today I'm going to tell you the simplest form of the Bible story, and then you-know-whos are going to come on and dig a lot deeper. You know. That's right, Miss Bonnie and Miss Allie. So today's story starts with one of Jesus' friends, Peter. Peter was a fisherman. He used to go out in a boat and throw one of those big things in the water to catch fish. You know, exactly, a net. Thanks, Ollie. Peter believed in Jesus because Peter saw Jesus is alive with his very own eyes. Jesus told Peter and his other friends that he would come back again, but until then, he wanted them to tell everyone that Jesus is alive and wants to be their friend forever. Then he left and went to heaven. Jesus' friends did what he told them to do. They told everyone, everywhere, about Jesus. One day, some people came and asked Peter to go to the house of a man who was different than him. Do you know his name? It's a pretty cool name. That's right, Ollie. Cornelius. They asked Peter to come to Cornelius' house and tell everyone about Jesus. Peter knew that Jesus loves everyone, no matter what they look like, or what language they speak, or where they live, or what they've done. So Peter agreed and went to the house of Cornelius. Peter told his new friends all about Jesus. He told them about the amazing things that Jesus did, about how Jesus died and came back and is alive. He told them he knows Jesus is alive because he talked with Jesus and even ate food with him. After Peter told his new friends all about Jesus, they believed in Jesus too. And so can you. So tell me, Ollie, who can believe in Jesus? That's right. I can believe in Jesus. And you can too.
Hi, I'm Miss Bonnie.
I'm Miss Allie, and we miss you guys.
We do miss you, but we're glad you're watching.
We're so glad you're watching. And so, as you know, I have been looking up some fun holidays for us to celebrate, and so this week we have a really special day.
We love this one.
It was Bring Your Dog to Work Day. Now, a lot of us are working at home. We're definitely working at home, so our dogs are at home with us all the time. Well, I shouldn't say my dog, it's definitely my roommate's dog. I just take her when I need an emotional support dog.
She loves you though.
She does, and so we decided to take pictures of our dogs working with us, aka the dogs disrupting our work. So the first picture is me and my roommate's dog, Miss Maisie. She loves jumping into Zoom calls, so if you're ever in a Zoom call with me, you most likely will see her, or you'll see me petting her because she'll like jump in. She loves the attention. And this day right here in particular, she really wanted to sit in my lap while I was working, so obviously I had to stop and take a picture with her and stop working. So
Very therapeutic though.
it was, and you know, Bring Your Dog to Work Day is probably more distracting, but it's probably my favorite day on this planet.
I think it is distracting. Now the funny thing is this is Fern. This is my daughter's dog. We share her, same with you. But Fern didn't want me in the picture. She just wanted to jump up to the computer and check it out. So Fern is a little bit independent, I think. So she does her own thing.
Free spirits.
Yes, she is.
So this final picture is our friend Miss Kelly, as you know, and her dog Shuri. So I think this is probably like the best of both
Yes,
worlds.
it is.
It looks like they're actually working. It looks like they're being cohesive. I just love this picture.
I do too.
And it's a great segue to talk about what Miss Kelly talked about with Ollie the Owl.
Great.
So today she talked about this guy named Peter. And so I like to, as you know, give nicknames to fun friends
Here
to
you
help
go.
me remember. So today we are going to introduce you to Peter the Rock Johnson. Now,
That is not the name in the Bible.
it's not in the Bible. You will not find it anywhere in the Bible, but this is why. So, fun fact, Peter's name isn't actually Peter, right? It's Simon. And so, Jesus ended up giving him the name Peter because it means the rock. Because after Jesus was supposed to die and then come back, he was going to then ascend into heaven. So he went back into heaven. And now it was his disciples' job to tell people about Jesus, to start churches, and to start this big movement. And Jesus, before he died and then came back and then he told Peter that, hey, you are going to be the rock. You are going to be this really important person, and people are going to center a lot of things around you. A lot of responsibility. Sorry, I forgot the word there for a second. A lot of responsibility for him, but he took it on really great. And so I call him Peter the Rock Johnson because I want to remind myself that Peter means the rock, and it reminds me of Dwayne the Rock Johnson. As you know, he's Maui in Moana, who's also in Jumanji. So I like to bring those names together, so it helps remind me that his name is Peter because he's supposed to be the rock.
That's all. I love Peter too, not necessarily the Rock Johnson, but I do love Peter. What I love about Peter is every time he spoke, he stuck his foot in his mouth. Every time he thought he was going to say something smart, and I've done that lots of times where I'm like, oh, I'm going to say this right now, and people are going to think I'm so brilliant, and I'll say it, and it's not even close to what it should be. And that's what Peter did all the time. He constantly said something, and then it wasn't right. But before we go any further, I have a box.
Yes.
I ordered something else, of course. I know, I do get a lot of boxes, but this was, I think you guys are going to enjoy this one. Let me see if we've our stationery. Yeah, the stationery is from last week. Okay, there we go.
Bonnie, you were just impressing me with this box opening.
I know, I told you I open a lot of boxes. Okay, you're going to like this one.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Okay, so here it is, all right? Are you ready? Okay, it's a Can You Find Jesus book. How great is this?
It reminds me a lot of our I Spy.
I Spy, the theme of this month.
So what's really cool about these kind of books, I Spy books, Can You Find Jesus books, Where's Waldo, is you don't really have to read to be able to do it.
No.
It just shows pictures and you look for them. And that's kind of like with Jesus in our story today. There's this guy, Peter the Rock Johnson, and then there's this other guy, Cornelius. And we learned today that anyone can find Jesus, anyone can follow Jesus, and I really, really, really love this story.
I do too, but before we jump into everything, let's look it up in the Bible. So we had you grab your Bible earlier, so grab it. And Miss Allie, where do we start? Because I don't know where not everyone knows how to find stuff in the Bible.
Yeah, I definitely am not perfect. The other day I was trying to find Esther. I couldn't find it. I had to
we know that we're going to be in the back part of the Bible because we're talking about Jesus. So it mentions him in the New Testament, which is the back part of our Bible.
So we go into the New Testament, and we know we're going to the book of Acts.
Right.
So I scroll down underneath New Testament. It says Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts. It's going to say a page number. Now what's really cool is all of the Bibles are different. Sometimes they have different words. Sometimes they have different font sizes. It all means the same stuff, which is really cool. So not one Bible is better than the other. So we're going to go to Acts.
So the book of Acts is the first book after Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So it's the first book that talks about the very first church. And as you said earlier, Peter is the one who founded that. He was the one who started that going.
Yeah. And so after we find the book of Acts, we go to that first page, we see it. We're going to find chapter 10. So we want to find the big 10, 1-0, big 10. And then once you find it, remember, if you need to pause at this point, go for it. Pause. It's totally fine. So after we find the big 10, we want to look for a little number. So it's going to be little number 34. So that's where we're going to start.
Great.
But before we start, I love giving some background information. I talked about this, I think, at the beginning of this month, but this entire book wasn't written with us in mind. It was writing to the people of their time. So if I was writing this in Acts times, I would understand everything that was going on.
You would probably text it.
Yeah.
You would probably text someone information.
And maybe I would have used some words that people in the future wouldn't quite understand because they don't use it anymore. It's like when parents say groovy, or if we say like it's lit. You're like,
what does that mean?
What does that mean? It's a bunch of different language and things that people in that time would understand, but we wouldn't quite understand. So our study Bible actually gives a little bit of background information, and so I'm going to read what it says because I thought it was perfect to give some background information to this story. So it says, in New Testament times, the Jewish people did not associate with non-Jews. Remember, we know them as Gentiles. God gave Peter a vision. The vision contained animals that Peter considered unclean. So during this time, there were these laws that Jewish people had to follow in order to stay clean. Clean just meant to be safe. God created these laws because he wanted to make sure his people were safe enough to continue on. And so a lot of them had to do with health and safety.
Now, nowadays, we would consider these laws very strange because we're like, why would they do that? What's happening? Well, now we have things to clean things. We know that certain things have to be in the refrigerator. We know that certain meats have to be cooked to a certain temperature. We have a lot of technology that they didn't have back then. So what God did is he said, I love you guys so much that I'm going to give you these laws to help keep you well, to make sure everyone is safe.
Yeah. So they had some animals that they couldn't eat because they weren't safe for them to eat. So they had this vision. In the vision, Peter was told to eat these unclean animals, something he had never done before. So imagine you had a rule that you heard your entire life, and then all of a sudden someone said you could go for it. Like, don't eat yellow snow.
Okay, you still don't eat ever yellow snow.
But if all of a sudden someone told you to eat yellow snow, you would be a little thrown off.
Yes, if you told me, Miss Bonnie, eat yellow snow, I'd be like, I don't think I'm supposed to eat yellow snow.
Because you heard it your entire life. But you know it's from God, then you're like, okay, it's probably lemon flavored.
Yes.
Like that joke. I thought it was funny. Just thought of it right there.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on.
So God gave Peter this vision to teach them that it was all right to go to the homes of non-Jews to talk with them, to be their friend, and to tell them about Jesus. So this part I'm actually let Bonnie explain because this is really cool.
So what Peter did is he went to, there was a guy named Cornelius, which that's a great name. I love that. So Cornelius loved God with all of his heart. Now he was a Gentile, he was not a Jew. He was actually a Roman centurion, and he loved God and his whole family loved God. But because he was a Gentile, he could not go to the temple, which was the church back then. He could only worship at home. And so he felt very distant from everyone else because he couldn't worship with them.
Yeah.
Now, who shows up at his door?
Peter the Rock Johnson. So this is really crazy. So remember, he had the vision. He goes up to Cornelius, and this is what he says. So in verse 34, as you remember, chapter 10,
little
34.
3-4.
Yep. I'll
Okay.
pause. You can pause if
Got
you
it.
need to. It says, then Peter began to speak. I now realize how true it is that God does not show favoritism, but accepts from every nation the one who fears him and does what is right. I want to pause there for a second because sometimes we hear the word fear and we're like, oh, we have to be afraid of God. We have to hide from him. We have to be ashamed of the things we do that are bad. That's not what it's saying. What it's saying is that we want to respect God, that we want to have this honor for him. And so fear doesn't necessarily mean to be afraid of, but to respect.
What Peter did when he said that right there is he took all of what Jesus said when he walked on the earth and he put it in one little statement. Because when Jesus was here, he spoke to beggars, he spoke to women that other people wouldn't talk to, he spoke to tax collectors, which no one spoke to. Jesus said, God doesn't show favoritism, and I'm going to show what that looks like. And he talked and loved everyone he met.
Ollie earlier told us that we can all follow Jesus, and that's so true. Because of this story, we know that we can follow Jesus. It doesn't matter what our background is, it doesn't matter who our ancestors were, it doesn't matter who we were before we met Jesus. What matters is that we follow Jesus and we do what we can to do what's right.
And the great thing is because this was the beginning of the church, we get to tell other people about this. That's the cool thing is Peter went to Cornelius and said, God loves you so much, you get to be part of the family. And now, because we choose to follow Jesus, we can tell other people.
Yeah. And so I always like to think about it as like things I love. We earlier told you guys to grab things that you love. So we're going to show off what we love. Really
Okay, so I brought my scooter. I love riding on my scooter. I live in Long Beach, so there are so many areas right by the water where I can ride my scooter, and I just love it. And I've actually had other people get scooters so we could ride together. I love it that much.
Perfect. And so I brought my Nintendo Switch. So if you are in any conversation with me from here until probably forever, I'll talk about how much I love Animal Crossing. We played a couple of Animal Crossing games because I love Animal Crossing that much. And what I realized is when I love something a lot, I talk about it with everybody.
Yep.
I share it with everyone, I explain it. I'll take the time to really try to show someone how amazing it is because I'm really passionate about it.
That's the same thing with our relationship with Jesus. We love him so much that it's easy to tell other people about him. It is easy to say, He loves you. He's always with you. He will never leave you. It is so simple to do.
And Peter loved God so much he shared it with Cornelius, and we want to share that with others too. So how can you guys show your love for God this week? It could look different for each person. Maybe you're someone who doesn't quite know who Jesus is, so that's okay. We all have to start somewhere. So maybe it's reading. I'm going to show that I'm going to love Jesus by learning about him. We talked about where you could start, which is the book of John, but you can learn more about who Jesus is, and we can learn to fall in love with him. If you already have a relationship with Jesus, maybe it's sharing with a friend in a Zoom call.
And sometimes that's hard to do.
It really
Taking
is.
that first step of going, hey, do you know Jesus loves you? I mean, that can be very intimidating, but it's baby steps, little steps.
So we want to know what you guys do, how you guys are going to try to share. Please let us know at kids@fcchb.com. That's kids, Kids, at fcchb.com. We love to hear what you guys think. You're brainstorming. We just love to hear from you. It's really just for us to hear it from you.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us today, my friends. Would you pray and close us?
Yes, I would love to pray.
Okay.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this beautiful day. Thank you so much for the opportunity to get to share Jesus' love, your love with everybody. Lord, it doesn't matter who we are, what our past is, we all get to follow you and to know you. Lord, I pray that you give us the strength and the bravery to maybe tell someone that Jesus loves them. It can be really scary, and we can think of all these million ways that we can be rejected, but Lord, I found that sometimes people really like to hear it. It can really change someone's life. So Lord, I just pray that you give us the strength, you give us the energy, you give us the courage. We love you, in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thanks for joining us, friends. We'll see you next week, okay?
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us this week for Kids Church. It was great having you. I had so much fun learning. But as I always say, we've got to do something with what we learn for it to really make a difference. Otherwise, we become really smart Jesus followers and we don't actually do anything he tells us to do. And that wouldn't help us or anyone else. With this in mind, I have this week's big challenge for you. Your challenge is to share Jesus' love. That's it. You can tell others in many different ways. You can write it on the sidewalk with chalk, hang a picture in your window, you can put it in your car window, maybe even put a scripture reference on there. All you got to do is share his love. It doesn't matter how you tell others about Jesus' love. What matters is that you tell them. When I first heard that the creator of the universe made me and wanted to get to know me, it was amazing. I could not believe it. So that's what we want to do for everyone else. We want to share God's love with them so that they know how amazing they are. That's your challenge this week, and I hope you do it with me. I would love to hear how your challenge goes. Feel free to reach out to me at kids@fcchb.com. Thanks for joining me. See you guys next week.